from the American Council on Exercise to evaluate 3 wins, to evaluate what we're doing in this virtual setting. And we are going to do a qualitative study. So I have 3 qualitative researchers that will be reaching out to you in probably April and May, latter March, April and May. And what they are doing is qualitative is gaining a perspective of what you have gained from the program. My reason for showing you that information is that unless you do something, you don't get stronger. Unless you do something, you don't gain cardiovascular capacity. All of this is within your control, but it's with the assistance of our accountability coaches. We met with all of them this weekend individually. So we spent the entire Saturday morning meeting with them in groups of 5. They all have objectives that they want from the program, but much of their objectives is tied to you. And so I'm letting you know that it's a team effort here. It's our participants, it's our students working together. But I want you to know that gains are possible, but they do require you to put some effort behind it. The casual walk will be helpful. It is proven to make you healthier, but it won't necessarily change that cardiovascular capacity, which helps you live longer. It's correlated with longer life. Doing the exercises you're doing will make you stronger, but doing a little bit more will make you stronger yet. And that then is related to falls prevention. That's what was key about this, particularly looking at their quadriceps or their thigh. So Fiatarone was the author. Again, Hallmark study changed the game for older individuals, particularly if you think about 1990, baby boomer population was starting to roll in, and the opportunity relative to healthcare costs was critical. So just want to put that out in front of you, and it'll be related to all the things that we talk about in the coming weeks. You all have the capacity. 96 years old, right? Does anybody want to raise their hand and say if they are over 96? Because if you do, we will give you it, Garland. And that's Garland's son. That's not Garland Sr., that's Garland Jr. Your dad does look younger than you, okay? All right, so 96, you got capacity. So I will step back from now. Go ahead, Arlene. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Loy, for that information. We'll get started right now. How is everyone doing today?
Good.
Good?
Good.
Great.
Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
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 Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So thank you so much for being here. Welcome to our Tuesday night family meeting. We'll go ahead straight into the agenda. We have a new project sneak peek by Christina. She will be telling us a little bit about what she will be doing. Letty will be talking to us about Strava and challenge number 3. I will be giving you some motivational interviewing information by Dr. Lisa Gore. Chris will be talking about the education tonight, and we'll go over important dates and family time. Also, please remember to rename yourselves. If you're in Let's Get Moving, LGM. If you're in Active Lifestyle, AL, and if you're in Performance, P. Also, please remember that tonight we will be having another breakout room where we will be helping you with any Strava or Facebook questions. Me and Letty will be in that room. Performance, I will not be with you tonight, but you're in great hands. So if you want to be in that room, if you want to activate your Strava or have questions about Facebook so that you can get into the Facebook Lives, please rename yourself as Strava or FB if you want to be in that room. All right, so I will go ahead and give it away to Christina. Actually, I'm very sorry, I'm gonna have to stop share and reshare because she does have a video. I do apologize. All right, I'll give it to Christina so she could talk about her special project.
Hi everyone, my name is Christina. I'm very excited to let you all know that Three Winds is starting a dance program, a project here, and I'm very excited. It's gonna be incorporating a lot of exercises you're already used to in your original programs. However, it's just gonna be a little more rhythmic, a little more dancing, and with music. So without further ado, I do have a little sneak peek that I would like to show you all. So Arlene, if you could play it for me.
With it, group drop. Like come on and no one go.
So that was the little clip. So it's going to be launching next week, the first video, and I'm very excited. I hope you all are too, and thank you for your time, and let's have a great night. So I will pass it over to Letty.
So good, wanted to watch it twice. Thank you, Christina, for that. I do appreciate it. And yes, it looks very exciting. Can't wait to see what's in store. So I have Strava updates for you all. We are at 99 participants. We're so close to 100. I know that was our goal, and I genuinely believe that by the end of this week, we'll get to 100 participants. So why don't we up the challenge and try to get 103 people on our club by next meeting? Yes, 103. I believe we can do it, so definitely tell your friends. It's not too late to join. As Arlene mentioned, we'll be going over some helps later on in the meeting, so if you need that, definitely stick around. Now, where are our 99 participants? Well, we are 1,253 miles we've completed, and as you all know, we're doing national parks this semester. So if we go up north, we're in Mika Creek in British Columbia. If we go east, we are in Turner Falls Park in Oklahoma. If we go west, we're swimming, hopefully safely with our little, life jackets and everything. And if we go south, we're in Sayulita, Nayarit in Mexico. So let's keep on get Stravin. I see all of you on the leaderboard. Congratulations to Irma, Dulce, Gary. There's Kate, Dulce. You are all putting in the work, but just because you don't see your name on the leaderboard, do not worry, because 1,253 miles was completed by everyone. And I hope to see more activities for our challenge, which is Lift and Shamrock On with our very own Coach Chris. It's going to be a special Facebook Live on Saturday, March 20th at 10 a.m. So it's not too early. So hopefully we all see you there. And in the past, we've had roughly around 10, 15, 18 participants in our Facebook Lives. So for this, we want our goal to be 30 people streaming, participating in the live at 10 a.m. There's 61 of us. I generally believe that we can get 30 people on there. Another fun challenge within the challenge is green. Show us how you wear the color green. It's one of my favorite colors, which is why I'm wearing it. If you want to take a photo, send it in. Definitely do so. Get that workout in. I hope to see all of you there. If you do miss it though, they do stay recorded, so stream it later. Get that workout in. Saturday, March 20th. We'll see you there. And I will pass it on to Arlene with more information on nutrition.
Thank you so much, Letty. Very excited about our challenges coming up. We do have some really cool ones in the works for the next couple months, so we're super excited. So today I will be talking to you about motivational interviewing for nutritional guidance. This was information brought to us by our very own Dr. Lisa Gore. She had a Zoominar a few weeks back. If you were able to make it, you know what I'll be talking about. But for those who missed out on the information, I'm here to reiterate that for Dr. Lisa Gore. So what we want to concentrate in the next few slides is motivation and motivational. That key word is going to be the focus of these next few slides. And so when you think about motivation or motivational, I want you to think of it as lighting a fire or sparking something inside of you that will lead you to your passion, or to your goal. Dr. Lisa Gore also emphasized that with motivational interviewing, we will listen with 2 ears and 1 mouth. As you can see the little icon on the bottom there, that's where that comes from. So for example, right now, we are all listening with 2 ears, and we will only interject if necessary with 1 mouth. And this is the trend that we will continue in the next few slides. So what is motivational interviewing? It is something that is client-centered or participant-centered. It is something that puts you, the participant, in the center of the question being asked. The question being asked is going to initiate behavior change, and it's going to help you explore or resolve any doubt that we have inside of ourselves. Also, not only is this great for when your staff is talking to your accountability, is talking to you, but when you're talking to yourself as well. We all have moments where we're talking to ourselves, right? We have that inner dialogue where it's like, are we doing it right? I don't want to do this. So we all have our self-talk. So when you are listening to the information coming in, apply it to yourself as well. Apply it to when you're asking yourself certain questions of what should be done. These questions or this self-talk should increase ourselves, it'll increase our motivation to change. So we will be listening with our 2 ears, and we will be guiding with our 1 mouth. What we will not be doing is telling you what to do, but simply helping you achieve what you want to achieve. So all of us have gone through the stages of change. Some of us who are not here means we are in the first stages of pre-contemplation, contemplation, but some of us here are in the action steps. And so there are 5 stages. There's pre-contemplation, contemplation, preparation, action, and maintenance. And I just want to go over these stages of change so maybe you could understand at what stage that you are at. So that when you're asking yourself these questions, or when you're with your accountability partner or staff, when you're talking to your participant, you'll understand them more. So pre-contemplation is not yet considering change or unwilling or unable to change. So your action key point here would want to be build preparedness for your need to change. Prepare yourself for that change. Then we have contemplation, which is seeing the possibility of change, but still uncertain or hesitant. So if you feel like you're at that stage with any other type of habits, such as, making sure you get your 150 minutes of physical activity in, eating better, sleeping better, et cetera, et cetera. Your action step here would be to increase your pros of what that change will do and decreasing your cons of what that change will do. Considering that we are all doing positive changes, it should be a very long pro list, correct? So that would be your action step for contemplation. Now we're in the preparation stage where we're committed to changing, but we're still considering what we need to do. So I'm ready to change, I'm ready to commit. So your action step here is to commit and to plan. And as you know, when you plan here at 3 Wins, what do? Our SMART goals, right? We fill out our SMART goals, we plan ahead, we make sure that our goals are specific, achievable, relevant, and timely, and measurable. Sorry, I forgot them. So in this action step, you will now implement this was preparation. So this is where you implement the SMART goals. So now we're in action. Some of us are in our action step, right? We are here ready to make changes, and we're taking the step towards stabilizing our change and the process. So our action step here is implementing and revising your plan. So that means looking back at your SMART goals and saying, is this where I'm at now? What do I need to change? What do I need to revise? Then finally, you will be at your maintenance stage. And this means you have achieved your goal and you're working on maintaining that stage. And your action step here is to integrate that change to make it a lifestyle. It is no longer something that is an option. It's something that you continue to live through. So some things to think about when you're talking about change, when you're ready to change certain things in your life. So these 3 questions are very important, and if you can, I would like everyone to either write them down, take a screenshot, or whatever it is that you can to save these, so that when you're talking or when you're contemplating or pre-contemplation or you're in your action step, these are the questions you want to ask yourself, and as well as staff, these are the questions that you want to ask your participant. These questions are going to spark motivation. These questions are going to spark curiosity and the willingness to motivate and go forward with your goals. First question is, what would you like to see different about your current situation? What makes you think that you need to change? And what will happen if you don't change? So I will be going back and forth with these questions. I will give you 3 scenarios that was given to us by Dr. Lisa Gore. And the first one is, ever since I started school or work, it's impossible to eat healthy food at all. I don't have time to eat in the way that I should. So we go back to our questions. What would you like to see different in this current situation? What makes you think you need to change, and what will happen if you do not change? So if we do not change our eating habits, we will probably regress in the goals that we have. If weight loss is our goal, making time is the current situation we want to change. Then we have, by the time I get home from school or work, I'm already tired. I want to exercise, but I don't have time to fit in. So go back to the same questions. What would you like to see different about your current situation? Well, I would like to see more time, but we all got the same 24 hours in the day, right? So we have to schedule, we have to plan, and we have to make time for ourselves. What makes us think that we need to change? Well, we want to exercise. That was there. I want to exercise. I want to feel better. I want to feel healthy. And what will happen if I don't change? If you don't change that, if you don't make time, if you don't plan ahead, you will not be able to exercise. You will become more sedentary. You will regress back to old habits that you may not want to be at. Lastly, I want to take better care of myself and increase my energy, but it's impossible because I'm in campus or at home at this time, at work all day. No time to slow down. I don't have time to eat and exercise as I should. So as you can see, time here is something that we all put barriers on ourselves. So what would we like to change about the situation? What makes us think that we need to change, and what will happen if we do not change? So these are all scenarios that we've all been in, that we will probably be in. And so these are the questions that you want to continuously ask yourselves. And as well as to our family members here of 3 Wins, we also want you to ask us the appropriate questions too, so that we can help you navigate better through your health journey. So it's not just on us asking you questions, but it's about all of you asking us the appropriate questions to help spark motivation in us as well, and to give you the correct information to help you, guide you, and get you to the goals that are necessary for you. So hopefully this all was motivational for all of you. It got you thinking, it sparked a fire inside of you, it sparked some motivation. If you still want to take a picture, you didn't get a chance to, here are the questions here. So keep those in mind, and then also keep in mind that when you're talking to yourself, you're listening with 2 ears and 1 mouth. You're not cutting yourself off, because sometimes we're talking to ourselves and you're like, oh, no, never mind. Listen to yourself, listen to all of your thoughts, and see if we can make some changes here with these important questions. All right, I hope that was helpful. And if you want some more information, please feel free to reach out. I can always relay the information to Dr. Lisa Gore, and she can go more in depth with that. So for now, we will give it to Chris for his education tonight.
Awesome, thank you. And I want to say thank you for that message. I feel like it was very powerful, and I hope it touches everybody in one shape or form. And getting into our education, we're going to do a short little recap on what we talked about last week, because as you know, our reoccurring theme for the semester, this month, is connecting the dots. We want to make sure that all the information we give you builds off of the previous week, builds your knowledge base. So last week we talked about the importance of posture with exercise, and we connected the dots to how breathing and proper posture with exercise is important. So the main points that we talked about last week were that breathing and proper posture helps lower the risk of injury. It activates the other muscles. It helps stabilize the core. It creates better breathing habits, and ultimately it increases the amount of oxygen present in the body, allowing you to do more work, allowing you to do more exercise. And this week we're going to continue connecting the dots by emphasizing the importance of awareness of your kinetic checkpoints. And being aware of these checkpoints are going to help you move more efficiently. They're going to help you pay more attention to your posture through movement. They're going to help you just become more aware of your body positioning, not only when you're sitting, when you're moving, when you're walking. It'll help you just become more aware, and that's super important. Arlene, can we go into the next slide, please? So you might be asking yourself right now, what are kinetic checkpoints? I've never heard that before. And kinetic checkpoints are a tool that trainers, physical therapists, occupational therapists use to help identify areas of the body that a client, or in this case, our participants, may be inefficient in or deficient in muscular strength in. And as you can see in the image, the skeleton has a series of areas pointed out: the cervical spine, the thoracic spine, the lumbar spine, the hip joint, the knee joint, and the ankle joint. And if you go off further to the left, you see that the joints create this little chain, and the chain is connected. Now, it's important to understand that we can't have weak links in our chain, because then it'll break, and that's usually what causes injury. So with that, when we move over to the right side of the diagram, we see these areas, and we see what they're supposed to be and how they're supposed to function. So we see our cervical spine provides us stability, and it provides us stability in the neck. And as we move down to the thoracic spine, it provides us mobility. The thoracic spine is what allows us to twist and turn. Now, when we move into the lumbar spine and our lower back, it's what provides us stability again. Now, the stability of the lumbar spine is so important, because when we do any of our squatting movements, our hinging movements, if we have any bit of mobility in that lumbar spine, in that lower back, we're going to injure ourselves. We're going to hurt ourselves, and that's not what we're here to do. Moving down to the hip joint, we see that it's highlighted, and it shows that the hip joint should be very mobile. Going back to the squat and hinging movements, we're always talking about that one important cue: push those hips back. We want you to mimic sitting down. So the hip should never be immobile. Now, at times your hip may feel tight, and we could talk about stretching that and doing things of that, but your hip should be one of those very mobile joints. Continue to moving down the kinetic chain, we're going to go into the knees. Now, the knees provide us stability when we're, again, squatting, hinging, when we're walking. Those joints move in very small angles, and they're not the most mobile. If you notice, you can only move your knee, you can only flex it and extend it. You can only bring it up and then kick it out. You can't really do much with your knee outside of that. And moving down to the last point of the kinetic chain, we go into the ankles. Now, the ankles have a lot of mobility in the sense that you can rotate it you can rotate it 360 degrees. You can make a full circle with your ankle. You can flex it, you can extend it. You can evert and invert, which means we can take our foot from a level position, tilt it to the left and tilt it to the right. And it's important to pay attention to these, just because, like I said, you want the chain to be strong. Any weak links will lead to injury and the chain breaking. Now, the great thing about this is you don't have to be a certified personal trainer or have your degree to understand these checkpoints. This diagram lays it out really well, and you just have to pay attention to how your body is moving. And if you find yourself having a lot of mobility in your lower back when doing a movement, you might want to stop, because that can lead to injury. There's a deficiency there. And at that point, you should reach out to your accountability buddy, your accountability partner, and let them know, like, hey, this is wrong, something feels wrong, and they are going to continue to help you with that. So I know that was a lot of information, so I want to take a second. Does anybody have any questions on the kinetic checkpoints before I continue connecting the dots? You can go ahead and unmute yourself, toss it into the chat, let us know.
I think this is just giving us a better picture of what our body's doing or what it does for us. So I really like what you're saying.
Awesome. I love that, because that we really want it to make the most sense as possible. And we want you to grow in your understanding of movement. So Arlene, if you go into the next slide, please. Alrighty, so we talked about the importance of the chain, and last week we talked about the importance of moving, the importance of proper posture, and how do we connect the kinetic chain to that, our kinetic checkpoints? Now, we connect that to our proper posture and proper breathing, because the better we breathe and the more attention we pay to our posture, the more likely we are going to be able to put our kinetic checkpoints in a position to withstand the movement they're supposed to stand. So if you're breathing well, you're keeping your back nice and straight, keeping that neutral posture, you don't have to worry about your lumbar spine becoming mobile when you're doing a squat and potentially injuring yourself. If you're doing that, same thing with your continuing to breathe and just keeping that proper posture. When you're doing overhead movements, you don't have to worry about hyperextension of the cervical spine and potentially injuring yourself. So as you can see, there's a lot of little things that we have to pay attention to that'll help us move our body better. Now with this, it's important because we want to become master movers. You know, we're all moving into our later years of life, and we don't want to be hindered by our desire to want to move, which is why we're putting so much emphasis in all this. So continuing to connect all these dots, we want you to be able to move more efficiently. We want to increase the time to fatigue. And by that, we mean we want to increase your exercise capacity. And these small little steps are the stepping stones to being able to get there. And with these steps in these last 3 weeks of lessons, you also have the ability to move with more power. And what I mean by that is you could put more force into the ground. The exercises are going to feel easier and you're not going to be as tired. And that's what we want everybody to experience, because we want you to be able to get stronger, feel stronger. And with that, I just want to, again, if anybody has any more questions, because this is a lot of information, and that is it for our education. So this is a great moment. If anybody has any questions, any dots that aren't lining up for you that we could go back to, now is the time. Unmute yourself, drop it in the chat. Don't be afraid. This is how we learn.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, it's important to know moving the body efficiently, but how do we know we are not moving efficiently or efficiently? You know what I mean?
Yes. So with that would be paying attention to the movements, and an inefficient movement, for example, with a squat, if you're not pushing your hips back, all that momentum is going to lean you forward. So the knees are going to come over the toes. The chest is going to collapse. And the movement will feel like a squat, but it'll be an inefficient movement. I think I have enough space to demonstrate, so give me one quick second. So, yeah, you can kind of see me. Sorry, I know it's an awkward position, but in inefficient movement for a squat, if we were talking about ineffective kinetic checkpoints or weak links, I'm here in my stance and my toes may come off the ground or my heels may come off the ground, which means I'm leaning forward. And now we see that potential of falling over. And a common improvement tactic would be just to widen that base of support and sink that weight into your heels. Now, another thought for inefficient movement would be the knees collapsing. So when we come down into our squat, our knees may come in. And again, we feel like we're squatting, but we're not doing the movement efficiently. One of the last ones would be not extending the hips, which again would be a problem with the knees and the ankles. We're going to come in and we're going to keep those knees moving forward and keep coming down. And again, it looks like we're doing a squat, but we're not really using our muscles efficiently, and we're putting ourselves in positions to become injured. Does that answer the question better?
Yeah, but that gave me new question though.
Don't worry with that one, because we do have a video coming out hopefully on Monday that'll explain those movements a little bit better, and we'll talk about how to fix those common mistakes and how to adjust your posture in that movement and other movements as well.
Thank you.
Does anybody else have any other questions?
I have a question. So when you're sitting, are you supposed to keep your posture upright the whole time, or is it okay to slouch every once in a while?
Ideally, you would want to keep that posture nice and erect, nice and upward, but it happens, it's common. Usually we find ourselves in places and positions where the desk is not at an appropriate height, or we have to slouch down to do something. So it's one of those, it's really hard to say yes or no to that. It's just a matter of paying attention to not slouching for 8 hours. But if it happens, be aware, adjust yourself, and pay attention to that movement.
Thank you.
Quick tip for all of you who are who work at desks or at a computer, 6, 7, 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day. Usually your body shouts at you every 20, 30 minutes, right? You start to feel kind of uncomfortable. You do a little shoulder shrug. Listen to your body. That's your cue to get up. If you're sitting down, march in place a little bit, give yourself some love, some, swinging your arms across your body, kind of changing your position. I mean, when we talk about appropriate and proper posture, there's a kind of a right way to stand, a right way to sit, a right way to do all of these things. But at the same time, a moving posture is really what we're looking for. Most of us, if we think about consciously being in a proper upright position, back straight, head neutral, right? This is a good posture. Over time, if you've been tuning into that chat, right, you start to get a little tired, so you start to slouch down, and that's okay, right? But then 20 minutes pass by, oh man, my lower back, my upper back, right? So we readjust, and then we repeat that process, right? We're constantly changing our posture, and that's okay, but it's tuning into your body and giving yourself that break, right? Every 20 minutes, I'm gonna stand up, I'm gonna march a little, all right, 20 seconds, back on, 20 minutes, feeling a little uncomfortable, get up, 20 seconds, move around, and you repeat that process. Because what we know about, physical activity and those guidelines is if 150 minutes is the goal, we don't need to do all 150 minutes in one sitting, right? We try to figure out all these different ways of accumulating to get those 150 minutes. So if you spend a minute every, hour or every 2 hours, right there, you've got your 10 minutes at least through your work day, plus your bathroom breaks, plus your eating breaks, all of these opportunities to get up and move. So when we talk about posture, think about as much as you can having that proper posture, but understand that it's okay if you tend to slouch a little bit, as long as you tune in and correct yourself. If you want to slant to the side, the other side, all of that is okay. But our goal is trying to be in this upright position where we're engaging those muscles and keeping the parts that are supposed to be stable, the parts that are going to be mobile. So like that whole breakdown that Chris gave you all, look at that, what that diagram is. Though the parts that are mobile, keep them mobile. The parts that are supposed to be stable, keep those stable. And there you will have that appropriate posture in everything that you do.
Thank you so much. That was awesome information. I hope everyone was able to take away a key point on that. I'm not going to share my screen, but I do, however, want to just go over a few important dates as we always do. We do have our Facebook Live tomorrow. It is the Couch to Better Health with Jake. He will be going on at 10 a.m. Thursday, we have our El Camino family meeting. If you do have a community or friends or family who are only Spanish speaking, please invite them to our El Camino family meeting. It is this exact same meeting translated into Spanish, delivered to our Spanish speaking population. It's really fun. And if you feel like someone can really benefit from it, we're always accepting new participants as always. Then Friday, March 5th, we have a Facebook Live with Letty. She will be doing Couch to Strength at 4 p.m. And then, of course, as you know, we have our March 20th Lift and Shamrock On Challenge at 10 a.m. with Coach Chris. If you can make it, please do. As you know, we want at least 30 of us on the Facebook Live at 10 a.m. All right, so finally, time for our family time. We will be breaking up into our family rooms. Remember that if you do need help with Strava or Facebook Live, me and Letty are here to help you tonight. If we do not get through it all, don't worry. We promise we will come back next week and help you with it if need be. Other than that, please change your names. And Josh, take it away.
All right, I just need about 4 more. Gloria, Mireya, Rodora, and Sandra. I think Sandra's LGM.
Sandra's LGM. Maria is coming from our Promotores group, so I believe she'll be going with Active Lifestyle with Angie and Jasmine.
Perfect.
Gloria should be LGM.
Gloria LGM, yes.
Gloria LGM, and then Rodora. Oh, P. I just see the P right there. Just kidding. All right. I'm going to open up these rooms, everybody. Enjoy your family time. That being said, are there any questions, comments, concerns? All right, staff, any?
Everything's good.
All righty then. Have a wonderful evening, everybody. We hope to see you all again next week. Tune in for tomorrow's Facebook Live with Jake. Let's see if we can get as many participants rocking with Jake in his exercise. And we'll see you all next week.
Thank you.
I hope performance went good. I can't wait to hear what happened.
Thank you.